Welcome to the Zodiac chat line for our new moon in Gemini show. I'm your host, Tanae, and of course, as always, the lovely Cassie is joining me. Bun, so cute. Look at her, y'all.
Thank you. I used one of my daughter's dance fake bun things that you
Oh,
put.
nice.
It's like I don't know.
Yeah, looks good though. Looks clean. I actually had to get a haircut because it had been a minute. But still keeping the length. Haven't
Looking
decided.
very fresh.
Not as hot yet, so we will see what happens. Come July. Uh, so to start it all off, guys, Gemini season is ready to get spicy and stuff. We have a lot of planets moving in and out of signs. We also have, again, a continuous amount of outer planets switching into the different signs. We have noticed this trend throughout the year where Pluto has moved, Neptune has moved. So we will be getting to that momentarily. But currently, the sun is still in Gemini. So shout out to all the Geminis that we know. Happy birthday, y'all. You keep it, you know, interesting. We are celebrating the new moon in Gemini on the 26th of May. It does happen in the evening, so about 11:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So throughout the day, you might be feeling it, but towards the end of the night, if you are like me that has some sort of Cancer-ish placements, new moons and full moons always kind of trigger your body in a different way, whether it's you're up all night and you're wanting to go to sleep or you're just feeling refreshed. Mercury is still in its lovely home sign of Gemini. I know it's enjoying the time there. However, on the 8th of June, it will move into watery Cancer. So buckle up, y'all. Getting them feelings. Venus is in spicy Aries, but last to balance it out, it will move into its home sign of Taurus on June 6th. Mars is still firing it up in Leo. Jupiter is in Gemini. And here is our very first outer planet that is going to be moving into another sign. Jupiter will be moving into Cancer on the 9th of June. Saturn, of course, is another outer planet that has now moved into Aries. It's been in Pisces for the last 2.5 months, or I'm sorry, 2.5 years. And it has moved into Aries as of May 24th. So that is a very interesting placement. We will get to that in a minute. Uranus, of course, is still in Taurus just for a little bit longer. Neptune has been in Aries for just a little bit. So, again, another outer planet that has switched signs. Pluto living its life. I don't know about best, but very retributional life, I would say, in Aquarius. And it is currently retrograde. So, a lot is happening. North Node's still in Pisces. A little bit of watery healing. I think we all need that considering all of the aggressive energy that is surrounding us. Yeah. So we're going to talk about Saturn moving to Aries because that is one of the biggest transits that we've had recently. Um, and Saturn, as everybody knows, is originally rules Capricorn, and it is Aquarius's form, like traditional ruler. Uranus, of course, is the modern ruler. And Saturn definitely teaches us that hard work will be rewarded, um, but consequences can be immediate. Saturn is known for its karma. And that's why if you know, mess with a Capricorn or Aquarius or even a Libra, because Saturn is exalted in Libra, justice is quick and swift. So I would just keep that in mind. But Saturn is not the most comfortable in Aries. It is probably a very challenging aspect, especially because Aries and Capricorn do, what is it, square each other,
Square, yeah.
and they are both cardinal signs. Aries, of course, is cardinal fire, with Capricorn being cardinal earth. Just not something that's going to blend together well. But this is a time to focus on your individual goals, build a foundation for ambition, and develop a more mature approach to conflict. I think that is a big, big theme in what we are recognizing right now. A lot of conflict that we're seeing. Aries is also the god of war. And so using Saturn's stability, to not use that impulsive Aries energy. I highly recommend you check out where Aries is in your chart. I know where it is in mine, and this is going to be interesting. What you got, Cassie?
Yeah, that's I'm 100% in agreement with everything you said, and I don't have much to add other than you know, Saturn, I think, in whatever sign it's in, likes to, you know, challenge your assumptions about that sign. And I think, like, kind of like that karmic balancing, like showing that too much of the Aries aggression, the Aries ego is it's too much. And so, you know, we're all going to, or I guess my advice would be make an effort for yourself to think about your individual actions and how they impact the collective. Um, don't rush to confrontation, because being impulsive and being um too much of a spitfire, you may get the karmic snapback from that. So, you know, without just abandoning, like, conflict is necessary and can be really healthy and helpful, and you know, some destruction is necessary for new things to emerge, but um you know, being impulsive and aggressive and reckless may not yield anything fruitful for you. You may end up actually working against your own long-term interests. And Saturn, I think, is a planet that's about long-term interests. And Aries is not a sign that has much interest in the long term. It's very immediate term. So just keep that in mind as you make moves every single day. Like, what could this mean? How could this ripple out? What is this affecting that I'm maybe not thinking about right this second?
It is it is definitely a time for self uh regulation and self accountability. Um and it's really difficult in the times that we are in because we are so quick to argue or quick to respond or quick to react. And a lot of it, as Cassie said, is built in ego. And, you know, the ripple effect that we have noticed that aggression has had throughout our collective, whether it be your own personal collective, whether it be worldwide collective, you can see that it has done a lot of damage, aggression, and um, hatred, you know? And I mean, it is not that hard to just take a moment and pause. And I think that that is one thing that I think Aries can learn from Libra, their sister sign, is how to, even if you don't agree with both sides, at least acknowledge that and take the time to take a more diplomatic approach to it. Aries is headstrong. Aries is known as the ram. It is ready to come in, bash things over, and not give a shit what happens in the destructive. And that's Cassie said, like, you do need to destroy things, but you can also just take a moment, you know? The impulsivity is, if it, if you, I will just say this, I know I'm stuttering, but as somebody who understands how quickly karma, and I'm not saying this is a jet all the time, but like I really try and err on the side of like, let me just be my best self because I don't want it personally. I mean, if you like to live in that life, you know what? Everybody got to learn their lessons however they want to learn them. Me, my grandma always said, your lessons don't have to be hard. When I didn't understand until I understood. So just use that as your Saturn and Aries mantra. All my lessons don't have to be hard ones, but if you want them to be, baby, Saturn will be ready to do it for you. But really, just, you know, use the positive attributes of Aries for your Saturn, because Saturn is normally ruled by Capricorn and has talks about ambition and drive and your career. Like, use that Aries energy towards those things, your foundations, building really strong ones, through what you really want. I think that's what I find very great about Aries is they will go after exactly what they want and how they want it. And I think using that is the best.
For sure. Especially like in the context of this new moon that we have and you're setting intentions. Like I think this could be a really good new moon for setting some big goals. Gemini is um yeah, obviously a mercurial sign, but they have a lot of ideas. And Aries is bold. There's a lot of Aries energy and there's a lot of Gemini energy in the sky. And also, we've still got Jupiter in Gemini, kind of giving a little extra blessing to all of these Gemini placements. So, as you're setting new moon intentions, don't be afraid to dream big, but know that, a dream without a plan isn't really worth too much. So you can channel the Saturn principle of setting rules and creating habits and go forward. I think the Gemini new moon and the Cancer new moon, because by the time the Cancer new moon rolls around, Jupiter will be in Cancer also, are both they have a little extra luck with them. So you know, don't play it small with your
Mm.
with your intentions and your goals, and don't be afraid to try.
I mean, period. Um, we, we do want to take a moment to kind of recognize some things that have been happening, which I think a lot of the planets are bringing a lot of this to light. And one of the things here in the state that I'm in, Georgia, we do currently have what they call the heartbeat law. We have had lots of conversations around a women's right to choose. And there is, I think, in Cassie and I, both of our opinion, a very unfortunate situation that has occurred, where a woman named Adriana Smith is not alive, and I believe she is brain dead. And she was pregnant initially when this happened, and I think she was only maybe 2 months pregnant or
Like
something.
9 weeks, yeah,
Yeah,
like just
not
about
very
two
long.
months,
But
yeah.
Georgia's heartbeat law is a 6 week ban on abortions, and so Georgia is keeping her alive, um, through a ventilator to keep the baby alive, due to this law against her family wishes. And personally, this is just sad. Her family, this baby could possibly be born not born. This baby could be born with some side effects. This baby, they're not able to even mourn the loss of their child, and the baby is not able to really bond with the mother. I mean, this is a very strange situation. It seems highly experimental for what certain people want for their abortion laws. And it's just terrible. It's inhumane. And again, we have run into a situation where we find that these aggressive ways of acting towards people are having a very large effect on the collective. And so, to Adriana Smith and her family, our hearts and like just prayers go out to you that somehow there is something that turns where you're able to get some peace and solace. Um,
Yeah. It's sick. And another example of a long history this country has with treating Black women as experimental subjects. And it's gross. It's sad. It's really sad for her family and her living son, who has to like see his mom alive in a hospital setting when she is in fact not like alive in any kind of functional way. And yeah, yeah, I don't, yeah.
yeah,
Hope that they can get peace
we
and
just
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just want to bring attention to it because, you know, Black women are, of course, still have the highest mortality rate. That still hasn't changed. Um, Also, in other news, Harvard decided to say, you know what? F it. We're going to stand up for our rights. And I am here for it. Sue whatever you got to sue. I mean, you're Harvard. So,
I'm
you
sure you've got lawyer alums you can call on
know.
for.
But also shout out to Harvard for offering online courses for free of basic US government understanding. So for those of you who think you know, and you're just hearing, oh yeah, well, so and so said this. Did you look it up? Is it a fact? Do you know how the government works? Do you know there are three branches? Do you know that accountability and checks and balances is a thing? Right. We're not seeing that, so I guess none of us would know. Anyway, and then finally, really a special shout out to all of the women who've had to face their abusers recently and stand up for themselves in court and through internet trolls or whatever. So Cassie, Megan, and Haley, we stand with you. Um, at this point, racism is wrong, abuse is wrong, homophobia is wrong, transphobia, all these things are just like, why? They're wrong. But if you can't understand why abusing a woman is wrong, your mom should have swallowed.
You
Anyway,
know, and this is just a reminder with all the, Neptune and Aries and Pluto and Aquarius and Saturn moving into Aries, it costs nothing to shut the fuck up.
ooh,
You just don't have to say anything.
no,
Nobody said you had to go on the internet and show your ass to talk shit about someone being brave and um you know going to the witness stand when she was subpoenaed to do so. Like, just why are you even talking? Why do you we didn't, shut the fuck
also,
up.
also, this is not a campaign against Black men. This is an accountability campaign because there is no reason why the most educated people in the world, Black women, are continued to be treated like shit and no one can stand up for them and they're not believed and it's always like, well, why did she stay? What, I mean, it doesn't, well, we have this evidence that he didn't shoot her and it's like, no, shut up. Again, men's fragile egos are the reason why they are where they are. Men's inability to handle their emotions in a adult way is exactly why they are the way they are. People say women are emotional. Anger is an emotion, guys. Anger is actually a valid emotion, but you have to know how to manage it. Attacking another person is not managing your emotions. That means you have zero control of them. And in Aries, it is not the time to do that. With Pluto and Aquarius, it is not the time to do that. Like, you just shouldn't. Side note, Megan's an Aquarius and Hallie's an Aries. Just saying. Um, but overall, we are watching accountability come through. And, I hope you guys learn something because I think as a collective, we have lessons to learn. And the more we are watching all of these larger planets move into different signs, we are seeing how the lessons that we are learning are transforming from our lessons in Pisces to our lessons in Aries. Very vastly different because, of course, Pisces is the end of our zodiac, Aries is the beginning. And so we're almost starting all over again with Pluto moving into Aquarius, again, starting all over again because the collective is seeing a lot more different. Capitalism doesn't matter. Famous people, nobody cares about celebrities anymore. We are witnessing in real time how the collective wants to move forward. And with that said, we're going to have some fun and talk about the Gemini celebrities that we want to check in with. Cassie, who is your first celebrity?
My first celebrity that I'm going to check in with is a musical icon. He has departed this earth, but in the spirit of sinners, he is one of those people who shows how music connects the past, present, and future. Somebody who harness like that universal rhythm and
Mhm.
harmony that can bring people together. And I am speaking, of course, about Prince, a legend. I I believe I have shared this quote before on this show, probably during a different Gemini season episode, but there was someone interviewed Eric Clapton in the 80s and was like, what is it like to be the best guitar player on earth? And Eric Clapton goes, I don't know, ask Prince. Prince is just such a virtuoso, and that like people don't even realize what a gifted like multi-instrumental musician he was, because he was such an incredible performer, singer, and like pop star, that his musical abilities are sort of the second thing about him. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, my grandpa and my kids like Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like what's not what's not to love about Prince?
I, there's nothing like he he was a real one. Okay, if you
Yeah.
know, you know. All right, so my first celebrity is the first trans woman and person to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award. I'm, of course, talking about the lovely human that played Sophia Bursette on Orange is the New Black. That is Laverne Cox. And recently, she starred and produced in her own TV show called Clean Slate. It was cute. It was cute. It was on Amazon Prime. She goes back home, and her dad, as her trans new self, her dad had a son and now has a daughter. And just like their dynamic and getting to know each other. Laverne Cox has stood for trans rights, stood for herself. Um, she is actually also a twin. And her twin played the male version of her in Orange is the New Black in one of those episodes. But Laverne's fashion, Laverne's just overall ability to stand up for her collective and for trans rights everywhere should highly be admired. She is just a well-rounded overall, Geminis can do everything and nothing all at the same time. So we love that.
Truth. Um, so my next Gemini is Australian singer, songwriter, pop star, since been a pop star. Like, I mean, this woman's got like a 4 decade or so career in music, and was recently featured as a very cute recurring guest star in the Netflix show The Residents, which I highly recommend. And I am talking about Kylie Minogue. Kylie Minogue is also the embodiment of the Gemini like youthful energy, because her music, regardless of if it is from the late 80s or 2 days ago, is always something you can hear at a dance party at like, Mary's in East Atlanta, and does not like, it would fit in any night, and it's fun, and you know, just get your body moving. And she was really good in The Residents, and I've never heard anything too bad about her. I hope she's not a terrible person. She seems pretty cool. So Kylie Minogue,
I love
good
it.
on you.
All right. Well, I'm actually calling an audible for my next one because I can't believe I didn't include this person. But this amazing human was first known for his film that he directed in Fruitvale Station. He has done both Black Panther films and most recently box office breaking records. Just remember that. Avatar was the last film that did this. Sinners has now surpassed a 300 original film to now surpass $300 million in box office sales. I am speaking, of course, of the amazing director Ryan Coogler. Um, Cassie and I have talked about Sinners, and if you have not seen Sinners, you are missing out
Go.
on a masterful Gemini's mind, because I believe Brian said that this came from a song that he heard, and he created an entire community, an entire life, a very full and rich story, rich characters. Shout out to his Aquarian brother, Michael B. Jordan, for playing two characters. And personally, I forgot while I was watching the movie. It was so good. But that film, even though it's labeled as a horror film in some ways, it is so much more than that. The depth, the music, the colors, the costumes. Of course, he worked again with Ruth E. Carter, who did win her Oscar for Black Panther. Ryan Coogler is a generational director talent that we will see for years to come. People are comparing him to Spike Lee. Of course, if you're not old enough to know, well, whatever. But highly, highly recommend just supporting Ryan Coogler because that man should be supported. Also, to note, Clarksdale, Mississippi, where this film is about, does not have a movie theater. And there was a woman that has campaigned to get the movie being able to be played there. And so they have found a way. It will be played there. Ryan Coogler, Miles, and Ludwig, who is the composer, will be able to be there for a Q&A in the city of Clarksdale. I think that's
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
So that was my audible. Cassie was not prepared for that, but I think it was a good one.
I love that. Yeah, that's super cool. And I did not know Ryan Coogler was a Gemini, but of course he is. I love
Yeah.
that for him.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you heard this, but I heard that as part of his contract for this film, he negotiated to get back the full rights to the movie after I think 25
I
years,
think so, yeah.
which was used to be pretty standard for directors contracts and like writers screenwriters contracts in early Hollywood, but with the advent of studios wanting to control intellectual property forever, it's not standard. But I stand an intellectual property savvy king, and get it how you live it. Let your descendants for years to come be the ones who profit off of your ideas.
Listen, leave it to a Gemini to be like, loophole, what? Got it.
Yeah.
And finally, our collective, we always have one. Listen, you men just happen to get it for Gemini season. Sorry, ladies. But shout out, of course, to 22-time Grammy Award winner, Pulitzer Prize Award winner, currently on tour with, of course, SZA for his GNX tour. Um, Literally just smashed a whole rap battle last year, and we were excited. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, our top Gemini for Gemini season. He may be the Gemini for Gemini seasons to come. Super Bowl performer this year. Um, you know, you can say there's this man's just life is beautiful. The way that he stands for hip hop, the culture, he calls out the culture vultures, and he is about his hometown of Compton. And I love that for him and for us because he said, we gonna keep it black right here. And I love that. Thank you, Kendrick.
Mm-hmm. Salute.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, you know where to find us if you want to. We've told you. If you don't, we're just gonna keep showing up here, trying to be
It's
consistent one
true.
place. But with that said, you already know what time it is. What voices of, I think it's pretty good. Okay. Voices of the Soul's Oracle. I feel like, it's a good Gemini season. Voices, because they might hear them all. I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah, I was
Gemini.
gonna say, yeah.
I'm not a
You got
Gemini.
many
I
different
actually have any
voices in your
Gemini
head.
placements. So, yeah. But this is the lovely backing. I don't even know what I'm showing you all of them. I should just show you that. And then we have some black ones, some not black ones. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm trying really hard, but
They're
life.
gorgeous.
So we are gonna let me shuffle for a minute because if I don't, all right, whenever you're ready, go.
All right. Bam.
Here we go, guys. Ooh. All right, we have number 21. It says Burden of Tears. Leave it to the water sign.
You know it.
Hey. This is a lovely book. I probably should just like look at the beginning. Just count it out. Dun, 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 dun. So much happening in this book. Okay. Um, just, it's not in alphabetical order, but they give you a soul, a spirit guides, and the entity. So here we go. There is a great sadness in you, an emotional pain. I feel it deep inside you and I understand it. Part of you feels like this pain makes you weak and vulnerable, so you repress it into your deepest depths. But this sadness is legitimate and it has something positive to teach you. Your pain is a sign you're mourning a relationship, situation, or way of being and thinking. There is still some resistance, which is why part of you is afraid to connect to this emotional suffering. If you feel unable to handle it, don't force yourself. Don't repress it. If you need to cry, scream, talk, just do it. You can write it down or communicate with a person you trust. I really invite you to do so. It will bring you true liberation and let you open a new chapter in your life. Your spirit guides. 6 months ago, something important happened. Something heavily disrupted your energy and emotions. Part of your energy froze. Part of you had a bad scare. Fear isn't a negative emotion. Fear comes when you feel in danger. When its role is to advise you, fear freezes you. When its role is to warn you, fear allows you to understand what is going on. Today, we invite you to understand what frightened you and made you sad using the method of your choice. Understand what that what that fear means to teach you. We've been sending you signals over the past few days to help you connect with another person. That person will help you directly or indirectly to reconnect with yourself. The entity. Part of you is sad and wants to cry and scream. This isn't necessarily directly related to my passing. It is a situation that you can't fully accept or overcome. I understand this completely. I would like to help you more, but it's up to you to build your own path. Don't worry about your tears causing me harm. Don't worry about having a negative influence on my soul. I'm here for you and to console you. I send you comfort and compassion. I would like to take you in my arms, but I know I can't. So, to feel my presence, take time to curl up and give yourself some kindness. Take care of yourself. This, oh, I'm sorry, that is when we'll be in the same energy and can communicate in a gentle and unique way.
Okay then.
Girl, 6 months ago. Anyways, we'll leave that there. Um, we all can do the math. Because technically we're in June, so
Yeah.
6 months ago was January. But anyway, um, with that said, I think that was a great and very important card. I think we are in a bit of a mourning stage, and crying is healing. Cassie will tell you that. I'm learning that slowly but surely, and it's okay. But we hope that you have an amazing Gemini season, that you take the boldness from Aries and the creativity that Gemini has to offer, the mercurial nature, the communication, writing things down, using voice notes to speak positively yourself. You can use those to do positive affirmations. I think communicating and talking is really what we need now, and listening is a part of communication. Okay. With that said, Cassie, I love you, girl. Guys, we will see you back at what will we be? It will be the
Sagittarius full moon.
Sagittarius full moon. Oh my goodness. Well, but it's all love, as you know, Detroit rules the world. Shout out to all the WNBA players. The season is off to an amazing start. I am excited to continue to watch it. Atlanta Dream, please keep it up. You're trying, you're doing so good. I'm watching you. But everybody else, we love you. We really appreciate you spending some time with us. It's all love. We out of here, Cassie. I love you, girl.
Love you too.
Peace.